Okay, guys. Well, hello, Experienced Rising Stars. We are here going into I think our 11th week of meeting together. Can't believe summer's been so fast. We're here at the end of August. It's been nearly 100 degrees everywhere and been hot. But guess what? That's what we want to make your content. It's hot, hot, hot too. So we're going to kind of go over, we had been talking a lot about transformational content. We actually gave you the last 2 weekends were fantastic, or last 2 weeks were fantastic trainings. I actually put it over into the boards, and I'm planning to use Andrew's trainings as part of my system for onboarding new people as they get ready to start building their content. So, depending on the new person, that could be as soon as them hitting manager, or that could be as soon as them hitting, silver manager, or maybe even if they already are wanting to really build on social media, they might implement some of the transformational content in the posting that we learned about when it comes to proof posts, invitation posts, value posts, and connection posts. They may implement that within the first, month or two of them being a business partner. And really, at the beginning of the summer, we started out saying, okay, how would you like to go into your week having a front-loaded week where you were already knowing a lot of what you're doing for the week? Because guess what? You've got your content all planned out. And because you've got your content planned out, then that means that you can spend more time doing your authentic outreaches, doing your follow-ups, and really making those connections with people, because it is in the DMs that we sell. It is through the connections that we really truly sell, but you have to get people interested in what you're doing through the content that you're posting. And so I wanted us to kind of go back over tonight, and I asked you guys to kind of come prepared. We're going to take a look at some content that connects, and we're going to actually pull up some different posts, and then I'm going to show you what I've kind of put together for my own content. And I will tell you, after working on this, I do feel empowered. I do feel like I've got a better plan. And I don't feel like I'm just kind of out there floundering around. I'll be able to connect with the people that really want what I have better. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to connect with the people. Now, depending on how many people you might be working in your hot market for, anywhere from 30 days up until 6, 7, 8 years. That's kind of how I've been. I haven't needed to really be deliberate about the content I've been putting out until this last couple of years. And I'm going on my 10th year in doing social selling and doing selling with Singular. So I think that's a pretty good track record. So we want to pull up some stuff and pull up some example posts, give you guys some things to think about, and really help you with your plan for the next really 30 days. Now, I will tell you, when Kaylee and I were going over this, we said, you know what, if you can't do 30 days, because that can be very overwhelming, let's just start with 7. So I'm going to show you my 7-day plan here in a minute and share some notes with you on that. But the first thing that we're going to do is just a quick review. And that is, when you're creating content that's going to connect to your people, remember, you are not the hero, you're the guide. Your content needs to be authentic. It needs to be relatable. It needs to be focused on your prospect and not on your own achievement and success. Okay? That's why we say it's hard sometimes when you say things like join me and things. Now, there is a place for those when they're invitation posts, but you don't want to say that every single time. The majority of your content should be focused on connecting with people and giving it to them without making any kind of ask. So that's where value and connection come in big time. I was talking, I don't know if it was who it was that I was talking to today, but it's Kaylee. We were talking about, if you are trying to control your sugar cravings. And for us, we know, for me personally, things that control my sugar cravings are like I go and I brush my teeth. I drink a glass of water. But I also, what has helped me a lot is mixing my trim sticks and my spring together and drinking them all down in them at once in a, 16 ounce or 20 ounce glass of water. But not everybody can do that because they don't have a product. So you have to give them the value and the tips first before you say anything or ask anything for them to sell you the products. And that way, that's what you're doing. You're giving that information away. The last thing is, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. How many of you have you heard that before? Everybody says, yes, I've heard that before. So that's why you have to have some clear direction and for your content. That way you do not feel overwhelmed and you're not going to struggle with what to post. And that's how we started out this whole summer is we went through these steps and got a lot of this from Bob Heilig so that we could put the plan together for you. So you guys ready to kind of jump in and look at some different posts from people and then have them share? Does that sound good? Kaylee, have you rewritten your story yet? I don't know if you
I just updated mine.
have you posted it yet?
No.
You may have.
Yes, I did. I told hundreds of people live today. I'm out.
You did tell
I
them live.
talked to the people.
Good job at Room on the Top today. Okay. Well, I'm gonna pull up some content that connects, and we're gonna just look at a few examples. And I'll share my screen here in a minute. And I do feel like is there anyone in here, if you feel like you kind of understand for the most part how to do a content plan for 30 days, because you're going to do like jab, 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 punch, which means you're going to connect, value. Okay, Dina and Kaylee, everybody says yes. Okay, so that's what we want you to understand. Planning your content, you don't have to have everything written out perfect. I'll show you some other simple ways. But I want Dina, I'm going to pull up some of your posts lately, if you've got some, and I want you to kind of share with us, and we'll take a look at them, how they are jab, 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 punch. Does that sound good?
You might find I might have forgotten to punch every once in a while, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's okay. It's not about being perfect, right? Okay, so I'm going to pull your Facebook up. Here's Dina Morris, everybody. Okay, you guys can see this. Oh, I love so right away we know Dina's either a teacher or art person, right? Based off of that. And I'm going to kind of go through your profile too while we do this, so we can look at not only the content, but we can also kind of see what everybody's seeing. Let me turn this off, my messenger. Okay, so you've got an intro about some of the things that are really important to you, your the areas, and this is going to help you guys with your content, right? Faith, wife, working mama 3, artist, teacher, health and wealth, seizing the day, digital creator, health and wellness, lifestyle. You've got your featured before and after. That's so good. And so you've got a really good intro and just information about you. And then you can kind of go in and see, you're married, you've got some, information on here. You've got some good reels. Look, you've got people obviously like to see you're so overwhelmed by a crazy busy schedule, but you've got some really good views on that. Love it. Okay. So let's go back to your posts, and while you have been doing the planning out your content for the summer, do you want to kind of walk me through some stuff, or do you want me to pick some things to look at?
Well, I would like to say that I have a better plan on paper than you would see on my wall, just because I took a job. I took a job 2 weeks ago. I didn't have a job, and then all of a sudden I had a job and school started. So part of that has just been me making sure I was ready for fourth graders to be in my classroom. But I did, when Andrea did that great training on how to kind of map out your 30 days, I just put on a calendar, you know, connection, value, connection, proof, connection, value, connection, invite. So I kind of have that kind of a pattern that I'm looking to implement with my 30-day plan we're making tonight. But you're welcome to go through and kind of see. I did try to still create value, and I would rather be about quality versus quantity if I am wanting to post something, but I know that this probably has been a slower time for me in terms of posting. So that's what I'm getting ready to ramp up right now.
That's okay. And that's good to know too, you guys. You don't have to have like, I mean, yes, you want your information seen, but just like Dina said, quality is important too, because you want to be attracting the right people. And that's part of your mindset. That is the transformational mindset. Is it's not the quantity of the content you create, it's really the quality that gets you what you want. So I'm glad that you actually said that, Dina, because that is very important. And that's why you want to be authentic and relatable. So a couple of things. Dina, we already know Dina's a teacher. And she, like this very first thing, she's saying, peace out, summer. We're headed into the school year, 11th grade, 7th grade, 4th grade. A part-time teacher opportunity presented itself. So this mom is back in the classroom teaching language arts to some amazing 4th graders and co-teaching with one of the best teachers out there. A whole lot can happen in just a couple weeks. I'm excited for what can do for all of us. So I do think that this is a really good connection post, talking about being a teacher, talking about going back. You've got a few comments on it. You've got a lot of likes on it, right? And so, you know, one way you could probably get even more context, and most people are just like, happy good day, happy good day, is if you were to add in a question at the end, you know, or something like that to connect with people a little bit more. Like, have you ever had your plans changed in less than 2 weeks? You know, and what was your reaction? You know, but you also could go back to the people commenting and say that too. But I love this. You've got some good hashtags in there too. And that's such good, cute pictures of your family. I love it. Just so you guys know, Dina's my sister-in-law, so that's my niece and nephew. Aren't they cute? Okay. All right. And so here is just another one, just talking about some of the plants you have. I actually, so Dina, just so you know, because you were posted about your avocado plant, that's why I sent you a reel today. I don't know if you saw it yet, about a guy who did some a how-to on how to plant an avocado thing. And so even if you didn't make a how-to video, you could connect with people that liked this, and it made me think of you because of your content there. And you know, go through and of course, you know, talk a little bit more about that, because you could connect with a bunch of people that are already in that season of planting. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see the reel, but I'm going to look for it. And
I think I sent it on Instagram because he's got a huge following for people, because he does all these things with plants.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what's great about this too is it's opened up some conversations about, you know, not giving up when you plant a seed. So it doesn't have to just be about gardening or growing something, you know, because I grow things, I'm focused on being healthy. I like to grow my own herbs and things for cooking. And so it always kind of lends well towards talking about health and being able to open up a conversation pretty quickly that way too.
Perfect. No, I think that's great. Okay. So, and then you talked about the struggle bus. I liked this one too. And then you did ask a question that's, how's it all transitioning? Right. And then you've got some people saying good. And, you know, you've got a lot of comments on this one, 17, I think. So that's probably some of you, you know, commenting back, but look, this is pretty good. It hits 100%, praying for a new day tomorrow. So see, you've got somebody to really be able to go back and connect with, and can open up so many conversations around stress or needing energy or whatever. you know, but you can go back and relate. So that's good content there. Good value. So, just to try to show you guys a little bit on this. And so, Andrew, would you want to add anything on this? On any of the posts that you see that Dina had?
No, I think I thought your feedback was great on just, ask the question. I think sometimes it's hard, to remember those things, but it might not be. I mean, I thought the question that you asked was really good. I have a hard time sometimes, Dina. I don't know if you do, but it's like, oh, well, what question could I ask? Because I'm just sharing my life, right? But I was watching a training today with somebody else, and they just said, what you're really wanting is for people to, like you said, raise their hand and get into conversation, which it has, right? Like this one right here about the struggle bus. I could see where you could have even taken the post where you were connecting about, how life changes, and you're it's like, oh my gosh, it's in the middle of, I have a great plan and the plan goes to the side, and now I have to create a new plan. And you can be talking about all the school things, but just, you could ask that simple question of, has your plan changed recently? Or, what's thrown you for a loop? But you're doing it here too. The only thing that I didn't see was, did you do a post with anything with like proof yet or invite, or no? I might have missed it.
Well, I think it's further down if Melissa keeps scrolling. There's
yeah.
my proof right
Here's a
there. My
proof post. Yep.
Okay. Is that your ideal person?
yeah, well, it's my son. So my ideal
Oh.
person is someone wanting to moms wanting to leave a legacy of health for their kids, whether that's
Oh,
being,
that's great.
an example. I mean, if I wouldn't have started, I wouldn't have had the same tools to help him. We've been
Right.
on this journey together. So yes,
Can
I
you
would say.
scroll up a little bit to the top? Yeah, that's awesome. Hold on. I just want to see real quick. Oh, I remember seeing this actually, which I don't see your stuff very often.
Yeah.
The
and that
one
was-
thing, like the one thing that, you have it in here that it's been a joy to be a part of it,
Mhm.
but your passion for helping women to help their families or to model or to influence, like what you just said to me, is
Mhm.
different than what I see in the post, right? Like I see you proud of your son, but what I heard was, yeah, I want to inspire women who have families to leave a legacy of health for their family and help them. I don't see that so much in this post. And it's not that this is a bad post. I just, as you said it, I was like, oh, that changed my whole perception of the post.
Right.
So just to remember, like, as the reader is looking at something, what's the takeaway that you want from it? And that might not have been the takeaway in the moment, right? It could have just been, I'm proud. But if you are wanting to attract women who want to leave or model healthy living, it's like, it's okay for you to say, I'm glad a decision I made so many years ago that helped me to change my health has also influenced my children. We don't always know if what we're doing as parents is going to stick. And this, I don't know, just you can repurpose this content a month from now, right? And you could do that, or even 2 weeks, right? And you could be like, oh, slightly different lens. So that's why I asked the question. And then there was just another post where you had just text, and I know this isn't normally like you, but for the sake of the recording for other people that are watching, just remember that text alone, unless there is a picture, is not even really seen typically. Like if you got comments, that's amazing, because that's not usually going to happen. So just remember, even silly pictures, even, I don't know what it even was about, but I think it was the struggle bus.
Yeah, it was the
Like
struggle
even a
bus.
silly graphic of kids on a bus or a silly image of a bus might have been better than nothing.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
And
But
I
that's
will
not
tell you
normally
too.
like you.
and
I mean, that is amazing. You got 17 comments and 29. I'm like, that's impressive.
And just
That is
some things
impressive.
that come to mind, going back to, if you want to be a mom who leaves a legacy of health for their kids, and I think healthy mind, body, soul too, right?
Right.
Not
Mhm.
just body, not just, right? You
Sure.
can-
Well, so just like you mentioned, Andrea, and I appreciate the feedback from both of you. But yes, I felt like I haven't done a reel for a while. I haven't done a live. So those are things that I can kind of dig deeper into as the struggle bus is coming to a stop somewhere, hopefully. I'll be parking
Well,
it and
you could
leaving.
just ride out that struggle bus for a while and just keep going with the same theme, because seriously, for the first 2 months, it is a struggle bus. And
Mhm.
women could probably really relate to you. But then if you give a tip about how, even though you're on the struggle bus, this is one thing that you could do. This is one thing
Yeah.
you can do with your family. This is one thing you can do with yourself. I mean, I'd say go for it, because you've got all those views. Why not ride that content out and leverage it?
Mhm.
Because people related to that. You might really find some women out there that, you could at least reach out to in those 29 likes and loves and be like, hey, thanks so much for your love on my struggle bus post. I just kind of wondered, are you also on the struggle bus? Tell me what's going on. How's the year going for you? And that could lead into, gosh, no, who knows what, right?
Right. Mhm.
But I mean, heck, leverage that struggle bus as long as you want.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
I love it. So good job, Dina.
Thank you. Appreciate you, ladies.
Yeah. And then I just have to figure out my Zoom again, because
You can always pick mine apart too if you need another one. I don't know where you're going next. So
okay. I was gonna go show some. I can
And
go.
while you're looking, I'll just say I
we
went
kind of
ahead
want
and-
to. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, Dina. No, go
I
ahead.
was just saying, I did go ahead and add a question to, because that first post you said without a question was just from this evening. And I
Mm.
wanted to post this morning. That's one thing that, just as a last side note, and then I'll be quiet for a second, but I wanted to post that this morning, and I've felt rushed all day long because I just haven't been able to get there. And I had to slow myself down and say, no one else knows what time my post was in my mind to go up, as long as I get it up. And then I was late to I thought I was late to getting my daughter to getting her from volleyball. And then I ended up being early. So I kind of even still rushed this one just to post it during a time when people would see it more, I felt. So I did go ahead and edit it and add
Yeah, 'cause it's
a
up an
question.
hour.
I think
Yeah,
that's great to know. Like, some people think once it's posted, it's a done deal. And it's like, no, click those 3 dots and go change it up if you want to. Like, nobody's going to know.
Look, I love it. Beer plan so it changed in less than 2 weeks. How was your action? Love it, Dina. Okay.
yeah, thanks.
Let's, well, we'll go take a look at some of your stuff, Andrea.
Well, we
So-
want to hear how you're doing your content planning too, because I know I'm like Dina. It's all really good here and it's all really good on paper. I don't know if it's so good here, but we'll see what you think.
That sounds good. And yes, I'm going to show you guys some stuff that we've been working on. I love it. Okay. So a couple of things on Android. Love this. You made this thing, which to show all the different things that are important to you, with your family and your before and after and your connections. Love it. And he even says a little bit of who you're empowering there. And then of course it says it in your intro. And got all the different things that maybe you could connect with people on, but locations and things like that. So we'll just kind of take a look at a few things. And ideally I want to show you guys some invitation posts, because we saw some connection and value. So let's see, this is too busy. Don't want to cook. This is a little bit of like a lead magnet type post, right? With the menu. Yes. So then you've got people that will comment back And you've got at least 18 comments, so that's great. This is a good interaction engagement post of what people would want to get rid of. And you've got some good conversations you have from there.
Haven't even commented back yet, you guys. Somebody posted that in a testimonial group and they had 2 questions. 2 questions is too many. So, and I didn't want it to be a weight loss focus. I wanted it to be a health, because like Hillary, I'm going to go reach out to her, right?
Yeah.
And just talk to her about what's going on and is she okay?
Yeah.
But I just changed it to 1 question.
Yeah. I love that. But that's a really good engagement post. Your little bit about your grandson. That's more of a connection post. I was looking to see if you had any invitation posts. And do you think you did maybe at the beginning of the month for your stuff?
Well, that lead magnet is kind of not an invitation for an opportunity event, or I probably did more at the end of last month, because we've been in a big, huge month of for our customers for 30 days.
Yes.
This is an invitation
I was
post.
gonna say, this is a little bit of
kind
an invitation post.
This is an invitation post to connect for community.
Yeah.
Now, if you need a friend who listens, feel free to reach out.
Mhm.
Not about the product or anything else, but just to connect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll
And
just
you
have to.
a t-shirt on.
I earned that t-shirt and never thought that I would be able to wear it.
Really?
So
But did you say that in there? I mean, I guess you could say use that picture for a proof post later.
I've taken that picture several times and just used it in different ways. But if you look down below, somebody was like, "Oh my gosh, you really have lost a lot of weight."
Yeah. On your comments. I love it.
And I just said,
Look,
"Yep."
did you lose more weight? You look younger. I love it. So yeah, you never know. So those are just some ideas for you guys. And that kind of gives you a little bit of a synopsis of what you could do to go back and look at your information. So let me try to stop sharing the screen. Hold on. There. Yay. Okay.
Linda.
Yeah, welcome, Linda. Glad you're on. Okay. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of what we've been using to start creating. So, and I don't know if Dina, you said you had a calendar. I want to see if you have it handy. Do you mind to grab it? And I'll let you share. Oh, you have it right there. Okay. I don't know if you can share it with us. Because I know you're on your cell phone. So Dina's showing just a desk calendar, right? And
Yes.
so, and that's where you wrote out your connection,
Mhm.
value proof, kind of your.
Yes. And so ideally what I'm going to do for September better, but I can do it the rest of this month too. I can just kind of pick up because it's still a pattern. So I'm going to be okay with not having to think about what I did last, but tomorrow is the 20th. And so that's an invite, and we're doing our gut driven living stuff. So I could invite people to join the community to follow along, talk about their gut health, trusting their gut. Maybe I took this job because I trusted my gut, and also I've been praying about some things. So, and my communities who supports me. So that kind of a thing, kind of tie in something like that. But then it's just, so the pattern was, and you know what, as I'm looking, I've found a flaw, because on the 4th it said business.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I would count that as either like proof or invite, right?
Yeah.
Is something about the business. So I think I just I think I just mixed up my words and then went with whatever we were talking about there. So basically it's connection, invite, connection, value, connection, proof, connection, value. So I'm just kind of trying to keep it where there's more connections actually than the other stuff is sprinkled in. But then what I would like to do, so when we were talking just now, I have up here, I put some ideas because you have these blank areas here. I just put, balancing the back to school. Chaos was actually something that was on my mind for what I would be posting about. This was prior to our talk. And then, I thought about doing something like stepping into September and trying to like move my body more now once the school year gets. So this is where I do a little bit of brainstorming, but keep my ideas here. And then had I gotten all the way what I'd want to do, then I would start filling in what I would post because, like first day of school, I posted about the first day of school and I knew in my head I was going to do it, but I could have put kids pick first day of school or something to kind of, if I know something's happening, like we're going on a picnic or something, it'll help me to remember to take pictures or think about what I might need to capture, which is also helpful too, because sometimes what I have been frustrated with in the 9 years, almost 10 years that I've been doing this is sometimes I will miss a moment because I'm worried about the moment because I want to make sure I capture it for people. And that bothers me. So if I have a plan in my mind, I can just say, oh, make sure you take a few of those, but then I'm not actually brainstorming that when I'm in the moment with my family. And you don't always have to capture something right then. I could take a picture from something else, still talk about what happened in the weekend. So I just think that those are important things to keep in mind when you're looking at someone's social media. Sometimes the things I'm posting are not actually from that day, even if I'm talking about something that happened that day.
I agree with you 100%. And I will tell you guys, I think I got caught up in that a lot when I was traveling and doing a lot of the singular passport trips. And I just was so concerned about sharing my passport trip with people that I would post, and I'd have, a bunch of stuff in my stories or whatever. And then, or feel like I had to put everything on my wall. I wouldn't take as much time with the moment. So I think that's good because when you have a plan, you don't feel that rush. That's really good. And also we recommend that you have a 5-to-1 ask. So like it's give to ask. So it means 4 out of 5 of your posts should be purely focused on giving and connecting without asking. So that's good. So, okay. So I'm going to share with you that's one way you guys can start organizing your content and making that plan. You are going to have to time block and sit down to do this. But today, Kaylee and I used an app called Trello, and I know Andra had shown this, but I wanted to share with you guys what we worked on because, I just for myself, just started seeing it. And part of it, sometimes you do have to take your ideal person also and build it through ChatGPT. And I know we've shown you guys how to do that, but I want to go over a little bit more. And what I'd like for you to do is if you don't already have ChatGPT as an app, go download it right now. Let it be loading. Okay? Because it is an AI app, but you can give it information and it will update as you use it more. And you give it information about your ideal person and about what your target market is. And for any of you guys that have been around and are experienced rising stars, you should know a little bit more about your target market. You should already know that. We've already covered that a lot this summer. If you're struggling with that, please reach out to your upline so that we can help you with a better plan. But if you are, even if you don't know the exact what your target market is, then you should know, since you are promoting singular, it's going to be something around health, wellness, weight loss, energy, things like that. You also want your ideal person to probably be where you were at when you started. So how old were you when you got started? What were you looking for? Those are the same struggles that you're going to be able to authentically relate to people with. So make sure you put that there. So, the first thing I guess I'll share with you is, the ChatGPT, and then I'm going to share with you what we've kind of created for 7-day. But, I took, and this is what's so cool, is that you can, because AI is so smart, you can actually share with it things like you can say, I want to build transformational content. Like you can tell it that and it will do it. Okay. So let me pull up my Chat GTP app. And that's what it looks like. It looks like a little, I don't know, circle with a bunch of braids together. Okay. So and then you can tell it different things, right? But I've already built in what my ideal person is. Okay. And so what I had asked for earlier today is a 1 week content plan. And I gave it some specifics right up here. Okay. Of what I wanted. And I said value connection, right? I need help writing 1 week of transformational content, and I want to include value connection proof invitation posts. Here's a format I would like to follow. And would like for you to come up with examples of what I could do for a post or a live. So day 1, value content. You're going to solve a common problem that's related to your project without using your product as the solution. Okay. Day 2, connection. This is where you're going to let your audience know that you connect with the more fun personal level. And so this is good ideas, but it's still not quite giving me examples, right? Another day 3, connection. This is what we call a messy middle. Share a recent failure or challenge you've experienced relating to your business or products. And then value and connection go down proof. Well, then I asked it to please include a call to action, an invite, and a conversation. So I gave it some of the basics, right? I already gave it some of this basics, and you guys could easily come in and copy this too to start off with your Chat GTP, because you should have already built in your target market and your target person, and yours is going to be different than mine. So it's going to give you different answers. So this is what it did. So day 1, value content. Topic: overcoming energy slumps without reaching for caffeine. Okay. And it says share tips on how busy moms, because that's my target market, is busy moms, can naturally boost their energy levels during the day without relying on coffee and energy drinks. And it even gave me ideas. Focus on things like deep breathing, quick walks, having healthy snacks like fruits and nuts. Emphasize that simple changes in their daily habit can be made and impact the energy levels. And then it even gives you a title to your live or your post, right? Ever want to hit that 2 p.m. slump and just grab another coffee? Here's how I push through. You can edit these. Like if these aren't your tips, if you don't do these, then do the stuff that you do. Like that's why one of the things I told Kaylee is when I'm having a sweet covering, I brush my teeth. That wasn't a suggestion from ChatGPT. That's one of the things I do. So you can throw in your own things too. But I loved how this actually gives you specific things. And then all you have to do is add a photo or go live, right? Giving you exact examples. Now, what's really cool about ChatGTP, and I can scroll down, you can actually go in and because it gave me an additional value content, because I felt like I was missing a value, and I'll show you that. And then you could even say something like, will you add specific hash tags that my ideal customer may follow, right? Then it'll come and generate them. So now it's got all these hashtags it's going to put out there too. So then I could go see who's following those hashtags already. And then I will have some good possible conversations or places I can connect with people as leads, even because they're already my people. Okay. So there's some ideas on that. So let me show you our Trello now. So what I did, and so Dina has everything kind of written out, but I used an app called Trello, and you don't have to do this either. But here's just some information, and we kind of have it all split up into different things. But what we did is went through and took some of those pillars and the overview of what is what, and put them into an actual plan. And so with Trello, it's just and this is showing you from my phone. It looks better if you're on a computer or if you're on a iPad. But it goes through, and this is all the stuff you guys have learned. And it's already here. So if you need us to share our Trello board, I got this from Andra. Okay. She's the one that already had created this. But then you can have this so you know, okay, you're not the hero, I'm the guide. I got to delay the ask. I got to plan my content so I'm less overwhelmed. I want to be authentic and relatable. Messy middle makes me credible. Have a clear plan. Top of funnel, cold leads. So you put more people in, right? That's where you're looking for people that really relate with everything that you're doing. Middle of funnel, warm leads. Bottom of funnel, hot leads. We've gone over all that. Then here is the 3 to 5 most things I value. You're going to value different things. But this is where building your information to do your chat GTP is important. And then here are some of the posts, right? And this is, you could do a 7-day plan like what I've already done, or these are just some things that Kaylee and I put together, and we just, had some different photos that I had from a photo shoot. But this is the connection ones that's talking about family and foundations, talking about, oh, sorry, things move around. Touching it too much. Embracing your true self, things like that. Okay. So this is a Trello board, and I don't know if I don't think I've got Trello downloaded on my, here on my computer. So I can't show it to you on this particular computer. I've got it on a different thing. So, but this just kind of gives you guys some ideas. And then here's value posts. So I don't have to just use it in order. I can go through and whatever's going on in my life, like if I'm making a lot of protein shakes for the week, like this week, Mackenzie told me I need to eat more protein. So I could, use this and share my story and talk about that, the protein shakes. Or
So can I ask you a question, Melissa?
Yes.
How are you keeping separate what text goes with which picture?
So see, they're different cards. So like, well, and I have the pictures in between. And I don't
can you slide your face off your phone?
Oh, maybe. Let me see. Aha.
So like I can see there, so that
Okay.
text that you just showed us,
Uh-huh.
that little tiny blur went with that picture.
Yep.
Whereas this long one goes with that picture.
Yes.
Got it. And is this
Yep.
supposed to be it's pretty long. Are you thinking like, how are you keeping track if that's going to be a static post or a reel or?
I think whatever I feel like for the day, but I put a photo so that then, but like today we had a bunch of our gut driven living stuff going on. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to mix my gut glow up and that will be alive. Well, then I didn't do it because I was so hungry. By the time I got around to my gut glow, I was like, I was on a phone call, so I couldn't do a live while I was mixing my gut glow, but I didn't want to miss my supplements. So I ended up just taking a picture.
Got it.
Yeah. So you can move things around, but I try to put a picture or something there so that then I know what I'm going to be doing. But then I could also go back through and change it around. So, and some of these are just, photos that we created. We got a photo from Canva. This photo actually came from corporate. When you go to corporate events, always try to get in front of their cameras, because then you'll get on the Flickr app or the Flickr thing that they send out, and you'll be in some of those photos and they'll be done by their professional photographer and you won't have to pay for them.
We need to figure out how to get that Flickr, because I don't have any pictures from last conference.
Oh, I bet we can. I bet it's in your email, but I bet we can figure it out.
Maybe I'll look for it.
Yeah, but here's some ideas for proof posts. Go ahead.
I just have a question. I noticed it as being a new thing the other day on Instagram, because I will often type my posts in my notes on my phone and then copy and paste it over. And Instagram's being kind of finicky about that.
Yes.
It's saying like they don't want you to copyright. So they're making, like, if you're not actually typing it in, then that's an issue. I did find a little workaround where I copied less of it, but I still ended up having to rewrite in some ways. So just as an FYI.
Really?
Yeah, no,
So if
I
you
know
have it
that-
in your notes and you copy and paste it, they're flagging that it's
Mhm.
copied? Really?
Correct.
Right. Yep. It wouldn't let me post it in. It was really frustrating because I had started it on Instagram and then I thought, oh, this is getting, I want, sometime I wanted to run it through Chat GPT to make it shorter because I'm wordy. So I will keep going with the words if I don't have some help sometimes. And so as I was doing all of that and I put it in my notes and transferred it, said I was copying something. So
Yep.
just
And I've noticed that too. And so sometimes my workaround one time is I texted it to somebody and then I copied it from my text, was able to put it in there, but it was short. If it's too long, it won't let you copy it. So, but that helps with plagiarism and it helps you from going through and copying somebody else's post and reposting it exactly because that messes up the algorithm anyways. You should
Does
always,
it do that if you get it like from your notes? Because that's where I build most of mine. Interesting.
nope, it just started doing it this last week.
yeah, that's what it was literally from my notes. I typed the entire thing. It was not like it wasn't even from Chat GPT what I was trying to move over. And all I had done with Chat GPT was, how many words is this? So it was original content, but it was really preventing me. So I just take it for whatever it is, that if you run into that, you might want to type your idea mostly in Instagram and then check it, but have it, you are typing it in there so it doesn't make you do more work.
Yes. I would
So
agree.
question, are you in Trello or your plan or whatever? Getting to the point where, how can I say this? You kind of know what you're going to do for the week. Are you
Yes.
like taking it from Trello and putting it kind of somewhere else in another plan so that or are you putting a date on it or?
So it does some of my connection. So originally we had planned it out. Okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but then I don't feel like using that post today, even though I planned it out. And it was what I was going to put on Sunday because it was a connection. But then I'm like, no, you know what? I'm just going to go live because I really want to connect with my audience over what I heard in my sermon.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what I found is better for me is instead of labeling it by the day or date, is the type of content it is. And then you do have to kind of keep up with or go back and look, what have you recently posted? Have you posted a lot of connection? Well, you need a value. Have you posted a lot of value? Then you need a proof, right? But we have so many things for people to leverage going on. I mean, just this week, we're going to have another workshop on Thursday evening at 7 p.m. that Jana Dyer's leading, but it's going to be all over GLPX and the gut products.
Yeah, I feel like we're missing somehow some communication there with like in Robin's team or Jana's team down. Cause I'm not going to add my team to like Jana's group too. It's just too many groups to navigate. So I feel like we lose like dissemination of communication a little bit. But while we have Melinda on here, I know that Melinda is a Trello master. And I also know she is really good at planning out her content. She does give herself a hard time about implementing that content, but I've noticed since our conversation last year showing up on that Instagram a little bit more. I've been seeing you. So I just think I'd love to, like, we got to hear from Dina what hers looks like. I'd really like to hear what Melinda has to offer because I think she's got some great ideas too. So if you're
Let's do
okay
it.
with that, Melinda, and if you're not comfortable, you can say, hey, I'm not ready for that, but I kind of think you are. So if you could share, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I can always throw in a few things,
We'd love to see it.
And one thing I would say too, Melissa, is you can like mark dates in your in the I'll open it here so I can
In the
speak a
title,
little more
in the title
intelligently.
of your
Yeah, you can
card.
put like a due date or because repurposing content is really helpful too, right? Because I'm sure you guys have talked about go back and look at the insights, see what's doing well, what's not doing great. And you can just go reuse something that did well change up the words a little bit, use a different picture, put several weeks between them. But you can still do that. So this is kind of an older one that I had, and this is a copy of something that Kimberly Olson, well, let me find one that's actually got some content in it here so you can be impressed.
Ah, I get it.
Because I have a couple profiles in a group, and I try to share with our value-based groups as well, and I'm trying to find the share.
They've changed Zoom. It's right in the very middle.
Can you guys see it now? Oh no, I have to tell it which screen to share. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
I do know technology, believe it or not.
Oh, I like your Trello board.
Right. So I've got it kind of set up, broken down a little bit differently. Because I've got several things kind of going on. I want to make sure I'm keeping up with all of it. And I will repost things, both on my personal profile as well as in my group. Now I do have a separate, technology-based group that I run. So some of this stuff isn't gonna sound very weight lossy or singular like, but I do it this way because, sometimes I want to make sure that I've got some stories already planned out for the day or for the week, right? Like, yeah, we want to do stuff in the moment so that it's real. But sometimes you just need to have something handy to slap up there, right? Like, we're all busy people. And you really can't schedule stories, so it's not quite as easy with that. But one thing I do like is you can, like I said, go in here. Let's say this posted really well. I can either mark what day that I used it so that I know when I go back to try to repurpose something, how long it's been. Or I
Oh,
can say, maybe in a month or so from now, I'm going to set that, and it's going to pop up a reminder for me to say, hey, this little thing did well. go, reimagine it a little bit and change the wording, change up the photo, and just reuse it that way. I also like making lists. And yeah, like a little checklist. So you were talking about your live, right? Like you want to kind of introduce yourself, tell maybe a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, that sort of thing. And you can add a checklist in here. And this is actually a pretty good one, right? Like, you've got your outline for your live, you've got it scheduled if you are planning on doing it on a schedule. You could mark it as complete or share it out on social. And of course you can, modify these to be whatever makes sense to you. And again, set a due date, put little emojis in there, whatever you got to do. So that's just a few things that you can do with your Trello board that might help kind of keep things organized. I love it.
Okay.
I
I like
usually-
on your Trello board, I can see behind it where you got Facebook posts and Instagram.
Yes,
Because they are a little bit of a different beast.
they are. Yes. And then I kept her little theme ideas in case I needed something in a rush because I didn't have a good plan. Yeah, stories and Instagram separate because you do always have to have a picture of some sort for Instagram. It's got to be certain dimensions or it hacks off your face or whatever. And then any kind of reels, like if I record any reels in advance and save them as a draft, I'll put a link to them in here so that I can go back and grab them pretty easily. Reels, if it's on a specific topic, you could probably still repurpose those every couple of months or something, right? Because after a few months, people aren't watching that so much anymore.
Oh, I guarantee you Marilyn has, because I've seen some of those reels a couple times now.
Come back through, right?
I
Right.
have
so-
another lady I watch that does recipes, and she did a recipe. I guess I probably highlighted or saved a year ago, and then I saw it again this month. you know, some people do those repurposing.
Yeah.
And then I can show you something that I've done, Melissa, on my board, and this might help like Dina or Kaylee who's not using Trello, but it's the concept behind it.
Uh-huh.
And so Dina, you'll have to tell me, is she still on? Did she have
No,
to hop
okay to
off?
jump off.
Yeah.
So then maybe Kaylee, you can say if it helps or not. But part of what we learned, you know, with Bob, when we were first starting to do our content plan, was that you really want to dig deeper into the subtopics,
Yes.
right? So here's our, I call it a passion. If you want to call it a passion pillar, whatever bucket, but it's like your passion. It's the thing that you could talk about for hours with someone and they'd have to be like, okay, I've heard enough. Like that is your thing, right? And a lot of times we don't have more than even sometimes 3 of those. Sometimes we'll have 4, sometimes we'll have 5. So what I did to simplify it, and this again is for recording. So those of you that are newer and you're like, this is a little bit over my head, how can I make this simpler for me? You can actually do this. And I did this as an activity with, I did it on the other 2 trainings. So I'm just going to show you, I did it with our team last week. We did 5 columns. We put our passions across the top. Then we broke these into just little squares, right? And each one of these is our little topic. See, there's Melinda, she's got hers. And so then we have these topics, but then we take the topic and we break it down into a subtopic. What are all the little things? Because this is all content for that topic in that passion. So if you have a Trello board and you're talking wellness, so we did this to brainstorm for like a group, right? You guys could do this for gut-driven living as an example, as a group, as a team. You go, okay, so wellness is one of our topics, gut health is one of our topics, you know, whatever. But we broke it down, and between all of us, we brainstormed all these topics and I wrote them down. And there could be more. And not what's good for me. It's kind of like that question I asked Dina, is that your person that you're talking to? Because we can get to where we start talking to everyone and then we lose our audience, right? So if I put down lifestyle, that's a topic. If I want to, I can open up my card and in my description, I could type up for empty nesters. That's a subtopic for grandparents. So those are 2 subtopics in lifestyle for wellness that I could put into our Magic to Metabolism, or I could put on my wall because that's my person. And from there, because I have a hard time with organization, and Melinda knows this, she laughs at me, I know. So what's nice is when you put a description, the description stays right there in front of you on your card. And then your activity could be a post for empty nesters. And you can say empty nesters, static post. And you could save that. And then inside of that, you could, like, let's just say you're brainstorming one day and it just hits you and you're like, oh, I just want to write it down so I don't forget. I just have this idea and I don't want to forget it. And so it's more of like a place to hold your thoughts. And then when you want to go actually make your post, then it might look a little bit more like Melinda's or Melissa's. Or Melinda's. So I'm kind of still in this stage right here where I'm like, I just want to get kind of my ideas down. So when I want to go make a post on nutrition, I can go, oh gosh, these are the things that I've thought about in the past that I could make a post on.
Yes.
So then I'm going to go in and write out something on macros. and I could type my post in here. And that's why I was curious about the whole Instagram thing. But I could type out a little tiny post in here, and then I could copy it. And if you're on Facebook on your computer, then you can do that, or you can do it from your phone too, because I'm on my computer right now. But just another idea. And then the other thing that, just because some people might be like, well, how did you get your picture in there? You click that little image icon. And if you're on your phone, it's a lot easier. You can just copy and paste it. But if you're on your computer, you know, you can grab a picture. Let's say I want to do that, and it's the power of us, and that would be, you know, a whole different category, right? Or maybe it isn't, or maybe it is in nutrition. And I talk about how we work together to coach women over 40 how to juggle life, kids, work, a career, and still stay healthy. And that we believe there's the power in you. It's funny, like a picture like that does not have to necessarily be about business. It could be about community or togetherness or self-empowerment, or it can fit in anything, right? But that's where it goes there. So it's a little bit different. That's why I was curious how you knew that you were getting those organized, because it is a little bit funky. So not to overcomplicate it, for me right now, I am just in this place where I'm trying to brainstorm the subtopics so that I have plenty of content, and it's more of a holding place. And then I just have it like Dina, I know I'm doing connection, value, proof.
Yeah. And I kind of have been using mine as a holding place, but the bad thing I was doing is I was making them all in one line. And then it was confusing. So I need
well, but that might be how your brain functions. And I think that's kind of the cool thing about planning content. Melinda has one way to think about it, right? Like she's got stories and reels, and I'm not even nearly that detailed. My stories are like whatever is going on. I grab some pictures from what happened. I grab some flyers of what's going on. I definitely do not plan my stories, but that's not wrong. It's just, that's not my style. So I think that's the thing about content, right? There is no right or wrong way as far as planning or preparing. It's just, you got to have something. And too many times, I know for myself, for many years, I just was throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it would stick. And now what we know is that if we can be clearer on who is our person and who are we talking to. So, you know how Melissa showed you guys how you can use ChatGPT just to get ideas, right? If you took and you told ChatGPT who your person is, and you want 5 different posts on healthy lifestyle for your person, ChatGPT is going to give you 5 examples of posts of what you could put into your content for that person that you're writing to. And then you can like switch it up to be more coming from your voice. So whenever people say to me, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but whenever somebody says to me, I don't know what to post, then my answer to that is, it's okay that you don't know what to post, but what does your person want to hear about today? And just go use the tool ChatGPT, throw it in there and see. I mean, before we had ChatGPT, we all used Google.
Yep.
And you could literally type in Google some sort of topic and you would get tons of images or articles, and you can still do that today. You can still get little talking points from Google, and that might be your content. I mean, you could Google, what's one thing a woman over 40 who works 60 hours a week can do to help their healthy lifestyle? Trust me, you are going to get all kinds of information. And you could just pick one thing and you will then have a value post. You know, you just got to tie it into something that you believe in too.
So what you've got to go do now is now you need to go do the work, right? We've done a lot of good trainings. These trainings are showing you exactly how to do it. Now just go do it, right? Get your calendar out, write your information and your ideas down, get out a notebook and write down your brainstorming session, write out your potential person. If you, all of you downloaded ChatGPT, go start filling out the initial stuff to create your ideal person, right? Remember back to where you were, because that's going to help you with everything that you need to be doing to get your information put into your 30-day content plan ideally. And if you can't think of 30 days, that's okay. Start with 7. And that's really what I feel like I learned today, is that, you know, I just moved it back. And that's how we started you out when we started doing transformational content at the beginning of the month. I mean, at the beginning of the summer, is we did the 7-day plan, then the 14-day plan. And now you should have your own specific plan, just like Andrew said, going into the fall, and we can continue to grow. And, you know, there are going to be times where you're not going to have good success with your content, but that's okay. You have to reevaluate it, come bring it to us, bring it to your upline. We can help you with some ideas. Sometimes it's just the time of day that it hits. But we can help you with all of that to make sure that you got it. Because if your content isn't leading you to new conversations, then something does have to change with it. So that's kind of all I had for tonight. Melinda, is there anything you'd add? Kaylee, Andra? Anyone else?
No, I just think we're our own worst enemy sometimes, right? And I think that's just important to know that if you feel that way, like, wow, they've got this plan and they've got all these ideas. Well, you know, if you want to know where that came from, it came from us doing some professional development with somebody else that said, you need to do these things. We didn't come up with it. We went to someone who had been doing it longer, better, smarter than us. And we went and did that training with them. And then we're trying to share it with you guys. Does it mean that we have it all together? No way, right? But I would say at some point in time, you just have to kind of start removing the excuses. Yep. And if it's just like, okay, I need a connection post. What's something that happened this last week that I can connect with Melinda did a really cute one. You know, she got to celebrate her dad's birthday. And I think that picture that she showed was a picture she had taken another time. It might have been on that same day, but I feel like I've seen that picture a little bit before. Was it a new picture or was it a repeat?
The one from yesterday?
Yeah, with the girls on either side. It seems like I've seen that picture
No,
before.
It's always the same, you know, place. We're always sitting on the gigantic recliner, and I can only get my arm out here so far. And I've never got the selfie stick when those kids slow down long enough to get a picture of them. So I just do what I can.
But it was great because it was a life thing, right? So let's say you have a birthday party from 2 weeks ago. Well, nobody's really going to know that birthday party was from 2 weeks ago. And you don't even have to talk about the birthday party, right? You can use the picture and still just make a connection with someone. And this is my last thing that I would tell you guys. We are all in testimonial groups of some sort, or we're in a customer group of some sort. They are the safest place to practice. They're the safest place to put up a post and share a little bit, give one little tip, make it a value content. Connection posts are necessary in groups. It's being shown all over the place that people want to see who's the real person in the group. Graphics will only go so far. So it's a great place to practice alive. Or you can do a little short video. It'll turn into a reel. And you can still have a caption, but it'll pop up as a reel in your group. But they're a safe place to try a connection post, try a value post, try a proof post, try an invitation post. Granted, on the invitation post, because you're in a group, you may want to say drop info to know more, right? You're not going to say message me because it's a shared group. But my point is, we have these safe places that we can practice and then go put it out into the Facebook world of your personal wall. And the last thing I would help you to remember is only 1% of your friends are seeing your posts anyway. And we'd like to get that up to 5%. So if you have 100 friends, you only have 10 friends or one friend that's maybe seeing your post. You have 300, you've got, what's 1%? 3 friends?
Yeah.
That's like sad when you hear it that way. My God, that's sad. So if I have 5,000 friends and followers, then 50%, right? Or 50. So my point is, not that many people are going to see it anyway, and they're just going to go right through it. But the better you get at posting, you guys, and the better you get at content and the clearer you are with your message that you have, the more people will see it. And as you improve and get better, just like all these people that used to do things 10, 15 years ago and were horrible at it, it just takes time and practice. But if you don't do something every day, then you'll never get the practice. And so I just want you guys, I guess, maybe have a little hope that it doesn't matter how good or bad it is right now. Like if you're not doing anything, the first step is do something and use your groups and go practice. And if you are doing something, then refine your practice so that you can get better at it.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yes. I love it. Okay. So we will be posting this recording for everybody, and I'm going to ask in the group for you to put a screenshot or a picture of your 30-day plan, whether it's on a calendar you've written it out or your Trello board or whatever. So we will see. Be looking for all of that. Talk to you guys